Welcome back, everyone, to the deep dive. This time, we're really getting into data visualization,
Oh, yeah.
which is perfect for you all because you're looking to
Right.
take your data and really make it visually sing.
Exactly.
And I think you're going to get a lot out of this deep dive
Yeah, this will be good.
because choosing the right chart is
Oh,
really the difference between a
absolutely.
presentation that is just a snooze fest
Yeah.
and one that really pops and gets people excited about your data.
Yeah. And it's interesting.
So we're going to give you a cheat sheet today for data visualization,
Yeah.
drawing on insights from Dr. Andrew Abella.
Yep.
And a few other smart folks, too.
Absolutely.
So I think a good place to start
Okay.
is that a lot of times people think that data visualization is just about making things pretty,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
but it's so much more than that.
Yeah, it's more like choosing the right tool for the job.
Exactly.
Like if you have a toolbox,
Yeah,
you wouldn't use a screwdriver to hammer in a nail.
right.
Each tool has a specific purpose. Exactly.
And it's the same with charts.
Totally.
There's this book, Saying It with Charts by Gene Zelazny.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that one.
And he talks about this too,
Yeah.
how important it is to really pick the right chart for the message you're trying to convey.
Yeah, so, picture this.
Yep.
You're staring at a spreadsheet.
Yep.
Maybe you're working on a presentation,
Mm-hmm.
or you're putting together a report,
Right.
or maybe you're just trying to wrap your own head around a bunch of data.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, I've got all this data.
Yeah, what?
What chart
Yeah.
is going to help make this data come alive?
Exactly.
So this is where I think Dr. Abella's decision tree is super helpful.
Oh, for sure.
He's got this great article on LinkedIn all about it called
Yeah.
Choose the Right Chart.
I love that.
I love that title too.
Simple and to the point.
Yeah. And it's so helpful because it's literally like this roadmap
It is, yeah.
for navigating this whole world of charts.
Exactly. And it starts by, helping you understand your communication goal.
Okay.
Like, what are you actually trying to say with this data?
Mhm.
So are you comparing, sales figures
Yeah.
from different regions of the country?
That's comparison.
Comparison, exactly. Or are you trying to show how exam scores
Okay.
are spread out, across a whole class?
So it'd be distribution?
Distribution, exactly.
Okay.
Or maybe you're trying to break down budget allocations.
That would be composition stuff.
Position, right? Or exploring the link between
Okay.
website traffic and sales.
Right. So that's relationship.
Relationship.
Gotcha.
And each of those goals needs a different visual approach.
For sure.
It's kind of like fashion.
Okay.
Like you wouldn't wear a swimsuit
Right.
to a formal dinner.
No, you wouldn't.
So, your data's outfit
Okay.
needs to match the occasion.
Yeah. That's a great way to put it.
So once you kind of nail down
Okay.
that communication goal,
Yeah.
yeah, what are you trying to say with the data?
Mm-hmm.
Then it's about the data itself.
Right.
So is it just like a snapshot in time? Is it static?
Right.
Or is it changing over time, like website traffic, over a month? Is it dynamic?
Yeah.
How many periods of time are you looking at?
Exactly.
How many variables are in the mix?
These are all important questions.
Yeah.
Because they influence which chart is going to be the best fit.
Exactly.
So if you're showing how a company's stock price changed over a year,
Yeah.
a line chart would be perfect for that.
Makes sense.
Because it shows trends over time really well.
Right.
But if you're just comparing the stock prices of 3 different companies on a single day,
Yeah.
a bar chart might be better
That makes sense.
because you're not dealing with any trends. It's
Right.
just a static comparison.
Exactly. And
Mm-hmm.
then there's this fantastic online tool
Oh, yeah.
called Chart Chooser.
I love this one.
Oh, it's so
It's
good.
just so helpful.
Because it can help you narrow down your choices even more. So you feed it okay, this is my communication goal.
Right.
These are the characteristics of my data.
Mm-hmm.
And it suggests these different chart types that could work.
Yeah.
And it even gives you templates.
Which is amazing.
Oh, it's so
It saves so much time.
Right.
I'm all about saving time.
You do.
So that's Chart Chooser. Definitely check that one out.
Definitely check that one out.
Oh,
But let's not forget the bigger picture.
okay.
So we've covered communication goals.
Right.
We've talked about the data itself.
Yeah.
But now we really need to think about the why.
Okay, the why.
Why are you visualizing this data?
Interesting.
What's its purpose?
Mm-hmm.
Is it for deep data analysis
Okay.
to uncover these hidden patterns?
Yeah.
Or is it about driving a decision?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a call to action?
Right.
Or is it even a way to educate and inspire your audience?
Right. So the purpose shapes the design.
Yes,
And it can be anything, really,
it really can.
from just exploring the data yourself to explaining something really complex to someone else.
Exactly. So are you like an explorer charting new territory?
I love that analogy.
Or are you an ambassador explaining this complex treaty?
Right.
And both are valuable,
Absolutely.
but the design needs to match the intent.
Totally.
So I think a good example of this is,
Okay, let's hear it.
we've got resources like the RStudio ggplot2 cheat sheet.
Oh, yeah, that's a classic.
It's so good.
Super helpful.
And we've got Steve Frankenary's data visualization quick reference.
Oh, yeah, another great resource.
So good.
So helpful.
So let's say we're looking at a scatter plot.
Okay.
When is a scatter plot like the absolute best choice for visualizing data?
Yeah, scatter plots are great when you want to see the relationship between two variables.
Yeah.
So like imagine you're plotting hours studied against exam scores.
Okay.
You can quickly see if there's a correlation there.
Right.
Do higher study hours generally lead to better scores?
Yeah.
Or is it just a jumbled mess? Meaning those two things aren't really related.
Makes sense.
So scatter plots help us see those connections.
Yeah, and scatter plots are just one of so many chart types.
Oh my gosh, so many.
It's crazy.
Right.
We've got pie charts
Yeah.
for showing composition.
Right.
We've got histograms for visualizing distribution.
Exactly.
And of course, we've got bar charts for comparing values.
The classic bar chart.
The OG.
Right.
And each has its strength.
Absolutely.
And there's this great resource
Oh, yeah.
called Selecting the Right Chart Type.
I love it.
It's so helpful.
Catchy, too.
Yeah, it's so good because it really shows you how all these different chart types really map to all these different communication goals.
I love it.
So I think it's really important to remember
Okay, what's that?
choosing the right chart is about so much more than just making things pretty.
Oh, for sure.
It's about understanding your message,
Right.
understanding your data,
Yeah.
and making sure that the chart you choose is actually going to help your audience understand the insights within your data.
You got it.
So we've really laid a great foundation here.
We have.
We've talked about
So we've covered a lot.
matching the chart to your message,
Yes.
thinking about the data itself,
Hmm.
and really being clear on the purpose of your visualization.
Absolutely. And I think that's a great place to pause.
Yeah,
We can pick up next time with specific chart types and how to use them effectively.
that sounds great.
Mm.
I'm excited to dive into that more.
Yeah, me too. It's going to be fun.
All right, everyone, so we'll be back soon with more on data visualization.
Stay tuned.
Until then, happy charting.
Bye, everyone. All right, so we're back
We are back.
and ready to dive into specific chart types.
Yes, let's explore those chart horizons.
Okay, let's do it.
Ready?
So you mentioned line charts earlier.
Yeah, line charts seem pretty straightforward.
They are.
But when are they like the absolute best choice?
So line charts are your go-to when you want to show trends over time. So like if you're tracking website traffic over a month,
Makes sense.
or maybe charting the ups and downs of the stock market.
Yeah, those are classic line chart examples.
Exactly. They're really good at visualizing those changes over time.
Right, you can really see those peaks and valleys.
Yeah, exactly. You get a clear visual of how things are changing.
So if I wanted to showcase how my podcast downloads have grown since we launched,
Oh,
a line chart would be the perfect visual.
it would be great for that.
Yeah, because it would highlight that upward trend
Mm-hmm.
and maybe even show, some seasonal spikes in interest.
Exactly. A line chart would really clearly illustrate that growth trajectory.
Cool.
Now, let's say you want to show how different parts contribute to a whole.
Okay.
Like visualizing how each marketing channel contributes to your website traffic.
Yeah, for that I immediately think of pie charts.
Pie charts are a classic for that.
Right. They give you that instant visual of,
The pieces that make up the whole pie.
exactly.
Right, but there's a catch.
What's that?
They work best with a limited number of categories.
Okay, that makes sense.
If you have too many slices, it becomes a visual mess.
Right. You can't even tell what you're looking at.
Exactly. It's hard to interpret.
So if I have like a dozen different marketing channels,
Mm-hmm.
maybe a stacked bar chart would be a better option.
Yeah, stacked bar charts are great for showing composition when you have lots of categories
Okay.
because they let you compare each category's relative size
Right.
while still seeing the overall total.
Cool. So we've talked about line charts,
Yep.
pie charts, and stacked bar charts.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what about when you have like a ton of data points
Okay.
and you want to see how they're distributed?
That's where histograms come in.
Oh, yeah,
They're
histograms.
perfect for that.
So like if I surveyed thousands of podcast listeners
Okay, yeah.
and I wanted to visualize the age distribution of my audience.
Right, you've got a lot of individual data points there.
A ton.
So a histogram would group that data into bins
Okay.
and show the frequency of data points within each bin.
Makes sense.
So you get a sense of the data shape.
Okay.
Is it normally distributed? Is it skewed in one direction?
Right. Are there any outliers?
Exactly. You can see all of that in a histogram.
So seeing a big spike in a particular age range
Mm-hmm.
could give me like valuable insights into who my listeners are.
For sure. It's like a visual demographic snapshot.
Exactly.
And histograms can reveal hidden patterns that you wouldn't see just from looking at the raw data.
That's so cool how they can do that.
Yeah, they help us understand the distribution and draw meaningful conclusions.
Okay, so we've covered line charts, pie charts, stacked bar charts, and histograms.
We have.
But what if I want to explore the relationship between two variables?
Okay.
But I want something more visually engaging than just a basic scatter plot.
Ah, I see you want to step it up a notch.
Exactly.
Well, there are a few options depending on what you want to emphasize.
Right.
You could consider bubble charts.
Oh yeah, bubble charts.
They add a third dimension to scatter plots,
Okay.
using bubble size to represent another variable.
I see. Or heat maps.
Came up school.
They are, yeah, they use color intensity to show the magnitude of a phenomenon
Okay.
across different categories or regions.
So like a map of the U.S. with states shaded different colors.
Exactly. Darker colors could represent higher population density or something like that.
That makes sense. And what about tree maps?
Tree maps are great for visualizing hierarchical data
Okay.
and how parts contribute to the whole in a nested way.
So like a family tree.
Kind of, yeah, but instead of people, it could be like different departments in a company.
Okay. I'm starting to see how many possibilities there are.
Oh, yeah. There's so many ways to visualize data.
It's amazing.
And remember, it's not just about picking the prettiest chart.
Right. It's about communicating the message
Exactly. It's about choosing the chart that most effectively communicates your message.
and helps your audience understand the data.
You got it.
So we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have from basic chart types to some more advanced options.
Yeah, like bubble charts and tree maps. Exactly. And we've talked about how to choose the right chart for different situations.
Yeah, so I think people are really starting to get a sense of how to tell compelling data stories.
I hope so, because that's what it's all about.
Absolutely using data to tell a story that people will remember.
And that will hopefully lead to positive change,
Exactly. So stay tuned for our final part
where we'll explore even more advanced data visualization techniques.
and talk about the ethical considerations of using data visualization.
Can't wait to dive into that.
So we've explored, a whole range of chart types,
We have.
from those classics like the bar chart and pie chart
Yep.
to some of those more unique options like the bubble chart and the tree map.
Mhm.
But the world of data visualization doesn't stop there, does it?
Oh, no, not at all.
Right.
It's a constantly evolving field.
It really is.
Yeah, with new tools and techniques emerging all the time.
So what are some of those like next level
Okay.
data visualization techniques that we should be exploring?
Well, one area that's really taken off is interactive data visualization.
Oh, yeah.
Think about dashboards
Oh, yeah.
that let you drill down into specific data points,
Okay.
filter information on the fly,
Mm.
or even create animations.
It's like data viz on steroids.
Right. It's taken it to a whole new level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so cool because, with a dashboard,
Mm-hmm.
it's not just like presenting a static chart.
Mm-hmm.
It's about creating this dynamic display
Exactly.
that really allows the audience to explore the data.
Yep. And in a way that's personalized
Mm.
and engaging.
Totally.
It's a lot more interactive and fun.
So interactivity is definitely like a key thing to be exploring.
It is, yeah.
But then there's also this whole art of data storytelling,
Oh, yeah. Storytelling's huge.
which is so important
It is.
because it's about, weaving a narrative
Right.
around your data,
Mm.
using visuals to guide your audience through those insights.
And making it memorable because
Yeah.
people remember stories
They do.
way more than they remember. Just like raw data.
Exactly. It's like the difference between, reading a dry textbook
Right.
and listening to a captivating storyteller.
Exactly. Anyone can throw a bunch of charts together,
Yeah.
but a true data storyteller
Mhm.
can create a presentation that really resonates with the audience.
And data storytelling can really help us achieve those operational purposes that we talked about earlier.
Oh, for sure.
Like the data analysis,
Yep.
the decision making,
Hmm.
the calls to action, the education, and the motivation.
It can help with all of that.
So it's really about like tailoring your approach
Mm.
to the desired outcome.
Right. Like, what are you trying to achieve with this data visualization?
Right. So let's say you're trying to persuade your company
Okay.
to invest in a new marketing campaign.
Mm.
You could create this interactive dashboard
Yeah.
showing, the potential return on investment.
Mm.
Or you could tell a data-driven story
Right.
using a series of charts to highlight the current challenges
Yeah.
and how this campaign can address them.
Exactly. You've got options.
But as we become more sophisticated
Okay.
in our data visualization techniques,
Yeah.
I think it's really important to remember that
What's that?
it's not just about aesthetics
Right.
or even persuasion.
Mm.
It's also about responsibility,
Oh, yeah. Responsibility is key.
because we have a responsibility to use data visualization ethically.
We do.
We can't be misleading our audience.
Exactly.
We need to make sure our visuals are accessible and easy to understand.
And avoid those common pitfalls
Yeah.
like cherry picking data
Hmm.
or using misleading scales.
Right.
Or manipulating the data to fit a narrative.
Because data visualization should be about empowering people
Yes.
to understand and interpret information.
Exactly. Not manipulating them or confusing them.
So we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
We have. It's been a journey.
It really has. We've talked about matching chart types to communication goals and data characteristics.
Yeah.
We've explored different visualization purposes,
Mm-hmm.
and we've even touched on some of the ethical considerations.
It's been a good overview.
So where do we go from here?
Okay.
What advice would you give to someone
Mhm.
who's ready to put all of these principles into action?
I would say keep exploring those resources that we mentioned.
Okay.
Experiment with different chart types and storytelling techniques.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be afraid to push the boundaries
Yeah.
and get creative.
Yeah.
And remember, the most important thing is to communicate your message clearly and effectively.
It always comes back to that.
It does, because if people don't understand your message,
Right.
then what's the point?
Yeah.
So choose the right chart,
Mm-hmm.
tell a compelling story,
Yes.
and use data visualization to make a positive impact.
It's been an incredible journey through the world of data visualization.
It has.
I feel so much more equipped now
Good.
to tackle any data challenge that comes my way.
That's what we like to hear.
So until next time,
Eep.
those charts sharp. Keep diving deep into the world of data.
And never stop exploring the power of visualization.
And we'll see you all next time on The Deep Dive.
Bye, everyone.